Timmy was only 10 years old. He had no care in the world, riding a skateboard with all his friends. At least that's what they called him. He was a nice kid, studying tricks till his eyes bled. But in silence he shed tears through his eyelids because of all the violence. Bullying beat him down. He had no dad around. Mom left him in the lost and found. So he pushed his board around town. That was his escape. Put on his best mixtape, grabbed his camera so he could elevate and eliminate all the problems that graduate depression. Remembering back when he was 7, his dad being his mom almost to heaven. Sis is getting pulled away. Grandma wanted to make sure they were okay, but he was left there to watch, just a haunting ghost at the toss. Under the couch he got crushed, but that's the least of his pain. As he watched his mom get taken away, he felt abandoned. Nothing was ever the same. Now little Timmy is 16. He makes some new friends, still no family, but he's got his clique. Still dreams of being pro and mastering his tricks, but his friends are over it. It's no longer cool with all the lack of love. He wanted to be that too, so he would do anything to keep them around. And then one night they started smoking clouds, drinking Old E and getting loud. Told him if he wants to stick around, you gotta make us proud. He asked them how. They said, you know that kid in gym class, beat him blue and brown. Then maybe one day you could join us and you'll gain all the respect around. So little Timmy went to school the next day. He was sweating, nervous, could barely think, wondering what he got himself so deep. He wanted to do this and keep these friendships. He walked into that gym, it was relentless. He grabbed a bat and he beat the kid senseless. He gasped and he asked Timmy why. Timmy turns around and cries, but lies, doesn't mention the other guys, and says, what do you deserve? Man, he was pissed off. Timmy couldn't stop his thoughts. He kept seeing that kid bleeding, so it threw him off. He walked into his friend's hangout, grabbed a pipe and he beat their heads off. He knew he had to end it. Timmy was a good kid, just lost, a product of the environment with a lack of love. So Timmy turned to isolation. He wanted to find himself instead of problem chasing. He spent the next 4 years alone in his childhood basement, recreating all the problems that he was facing, playing over and over in his head like a station. And then Timmy turned 21. He felt like he was back to himself. He just wanted to have some fun. He got a good job, still no friends, but then he found alcohol. The first sip like gasoline, and suddenly he felt a sense of relief. He was happy what seemed like the first time. It was blowing his mind, going to the bar every weekend, enjoying his time, starting to make good friends, good laughs, wishing the nights would never end. And then they didn't. He was offered a line and then he hit it. He couldn't believe it. The dopamine flooded his brain. He couldn't stop talking. He had no shame. And then every night ended the same. A half ball of cocaine. He didn't see a problem. Why would something that makes him happy be a problem? There was something that solved him. He always had friends around. He didn't feel anything. There were the nights that never ended, even though every night was the same. Going to bed strung out with a migraine. But times changed. Little Timmy didn't longer use cocaine. He was to chase any high that would elevate him. It started with Molly. He was eating it back like candy. Went for a while until he could hardly find any happiness. It sucked his soul and left him feeling emptiness. So he was off to the next. Crack rocks and methamphetamine dreams. At least that's what he thought, until he blasted a rock and his heart stopped. Now he's 26, rushed to the hospital because of one fix. All he could see was black. He didn't want to go like this. He realizes all his wrongdoing. He wished he could take it all back. And then the doctor blasted his heart, and suddenly he was alive. And he seen the light what seemed like the first time. He promised himself he was gonna stop, and he checked himself in a detox until the pain stopped. And then he moved on to the battle for almost 10 years, and he proved wrong. A product of a struggle that he grew on, and he had to stay strong. He was a fighter, and he had the fight of the whole sun. Now Timmy's 27. He found poetry and he used it as a weapon. Started writing rhymes and spitting with his brethren. He opened up his mind and he told his stories. At first they were kinda corny, a dark story, all the things he felt over the years. But then he started hitting the stage and the crowd cheers. Man, he could shed tears. Who knew so many people could relate? He had so much support. Now every time he walked the stage, he built a real foundation and a fan base. He kept going on the path that he has chosen. He learned so much over the years and he showed it. Worked with big artists and he stole it, the stage. Now Timmy's 29, he slowed down a bit. He said, I'ma do one more show, then I'ma call it quits. So he gets on the stage and then it hits. The woman in the front row, looking him in the eyes, he never felt that. What was that emotion? Suddenly everything stopped in motion. That was love at first sight. He could take flight. He forgot his words, but it was alright. He didn't want to win this crowd, just a woman. Later that night he talks to her. They hit it off. They talk all night into the next day, and the next day turns into a month turns into a year. He's never felt so sure. Everything It's the feeling, her eyes, her understanding, and the first time in his life, he's got a purpose. He feels like he belongs. She takes care of his heart, and not after too long, they have a baby. And another, and that summer flew right by, and then they were married. Life is scary, kind of like a roller coaster. You crash down, then you're on top, but this time he wasn't going to drop. Now Timmy's 31, and he's got everything he wants.